Hey, what is up, squad? TITOBODS here again for another exciting video. For those of you guys who are free-to-play players or low spenders that are using a Lubu March, I think this is a good content for you guys. So, yesterday, while I was just casually pulling some adornments, the very first pull that I did on this account, on my alt account, is actually a boiling blood. So I was using a shadow chaser, and now that we got the boiling blood, it's only logical to actually test it ourselves. And we did yesterday. I didn't really tested it out yet on a fight on real players, except for the arena PvP and also the Regent C. So we're going to have more info about this one when the MEE war starts this weekend. Before anything else, slap that like button and drag this video out to your friends. And since 78% of you guys watching are not yet subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. We also have our tip link here on screen. You can leave a message or comment on that so I can answer or recognize your message on our next video. We now have our super chat and super thanks, and if you want to be a member of the channel, you can get perks like custom icons, custom emotes, and enjoy members only content. And with that, let's go back to topic. Okay, so if you are using a Lubu or you already have been using this adornments for a while, maybe you did compare it with the Shadow Chaser or anything, or maybe you are a new player or a new user of this adornment and thinking if this is really better than the other pools like your Shadow Chaser. And in this video, you're going to know which is better. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you my build right now on this account for the Lubu March. I am going to show you first the build that I use for this march. I am using Zhao in the commander space here. We have just gotten him to max yesterday also. So the last year was 110 Universal Hero medals, and we used them all on Zhao. So we waited for a while before we have really finished his stars off to get to 5-star. I was using Lubu as my main before I get Zhao to tier 5 and before I get the Boiling Blood. So let's first talk about the boiling blood before I explain why my build is like this now. So we have here the boiling blood. So you can see the special effects of this one is after the mounted hero deals critical strike damage, recovers your unit in your troop with the rate of 140% at this current level here, plus might bonus, which will eventually increase the recovery rate, maybe let's say by a few amount. And also, this one increases the hero's secondary strike skill damage by 11% for 3 seconds. Now, this one only triggers the one time every 9 seconds. But on the first instance, it will activate already before the timer starts. So you have one instance there, and then wait for 9 seconds, another instance there. So that's how it works. Now, comparing it with my previous adornment, which is my Shadow Chasers. You can see here, we have also already leveled this up to Legendary. And the Shadow Chasers effect is after the mounted hero launches a normal attack, which is every normal attack. This is going to be the chance. There is a 65% chance to increase now the hero's skill damage by 14.8%, which is a huge one, right? Now, for 3 seconds. Now, considering the fact that this one will give you 14.8% of damage is actually a huge increase of damage, all right? But the tail here is that you have 65%. So let's say a good chance is every 2 attack, you will have one instance of the Shadow Chaser activating. Now, within that 3 seconds, that is when you can use your 14.8%. And after that, you will wait again to trigger the Shadow Chaser in order for you to get another 14.8%. This is not the 14.8% for 3 seconds because it only states here, this chance is to increase the hero's only the next skill damage. It doesn't say that it increases the hero's damage or skill damage by 14.8% for 3 seconds. There is actually no duration for the 14.8%, but only one skill in that 3 seconds span will be equipped with the bonus of 14.8% damage. Now, comparing it to the phrasing in the description of the Boiling Blood. So you can see here it says, increases the hero's secondary strike skill damage by 11% for 3 seconds. Okay, so it increases the hero's secondary strike skill damage. It means that all your damage that is a secondary strike will have or will increase by 11.1% for that 3 seconds. Imagine you are having 3 consecutive or 2 consecutive crits, or in that span of 3 seconds, you will do 2 skills, may it be any of your customizable skill, which is actually secondary strike skill. And sometimes when two of those happen in the span of 3 seconds, you will have way better or more damage. Now, the only downside of this one is actually waiting again for 9 seconds. But within that 9 seconds, you will get 1. And right after that 9 seconds, on the 10th second, it will activate again 1. So that's actually how it will go. Given the fact, it will also give you 140% of recovery rate, still a huge amount of help when it comes to your troops. Now, alright, so Zhao Yan's skill, though, has only one secondary strike skill, which is this one. Because the other skills he have is, this one is a secondary strike, yes, but this doesn't have any damage on it, so we can actually cross this one out. Now, another one is this one, which is a passive one, so we have to cross this one again. Now, the only thing that this will activate on is actually Pay in Blood. And every time you activate it, you will heal. Plus, you will have that extra damage for your secondary strike skill, which is a huge amount at 370% plus might bonus. If you use another damage adornment on Zhao Yan, and then you have also another, let's say, Shadow Chaser on Lubu, that's actually the time where you are going to have a difficulty when it comes to the defense. Now, you can actually get a resistance for your Attila, but my Attila, I'm going to reveal, doesn't have the resistance, but rather what I have on my Attila is actually Rally. The Rally's effect is actually after the mounted hero launches 12 normal attacks, which is going to take a while before it activates. But it's really, really good. Now, reduces their skill damage by 15%, okay? But Attila doesn't really deal that much damage, so it's kind of okay, right? And increases other heroes' skill damage in the troop by 4.5% up to 2 stacks, which I think eventually it will go to, let's say, 6. Maybe I can do that. And then eventually it will be 12% for both of your 2 other heroes. So you can see there, you will have a huge amount of damage boost. That's why my Zhao Yan actually has a resistance on him. That's what I use. Now, I tried both Shadow Chaser and Boiling Blood and then interchange them, and I found out that Zhao Yan is going to have a hard time with the Boiling Blood because, first of all, he cannot spam his secondary strike skill unless you are so lucky you activated it twice. And another thing is that this doesn't really crit. The only thing that crits is this one. Although, when there is no skill effects, you can see here, especially on your Pain Blood, critical strike can only occur through normal attack. So it means that the Pain Blood won't do critical, so it will not deal that much damage. And as you can see here, it says in skill that explicitly indicate the ability to deal critical strike. So damage will be significantly increased when triggering critical strikes, and max critical strike rate is 75%. So, okay. Now, having said that, as you now see, your Zhao Yan's only chance of dealing that much damage is when your passive or your signature skill here actually activates its critical, but it will not trigger the Boiling Blood because this one is not a secondary strike skill. And even though, let's say, this one will have more damage, but the thing is that you would love to have it on a hero that deals crazy amount of criticals because that will have way better, more damage. That's why I think Boiling Blood is better off with Lubu. So here, as you can see, we got now the Boiling Blood. And I chose it better than your Shadow Chaser because, as I've said, in the 3 seconds, you will have that much damage. And in the 3 seconds, you can actually deal a lot of damage with your Lubu. And another one is that your Lubu can, since I am using the Ring of Daisy on my Lubu, which is, or houses the double strike, it will actually give another damage that can actually deal critical because of Lubu's skill, which is this one, which deals all of his skills, deals critical strike. So once you have that ring, it will be considered as a skill of Lubu, and it can deal critical. That's why when you see the Ring of Daisy versus another ring like that, for example, the Ring of Tulip, I think, that you can get the damage from Lubu versus the damage of the Tulip from Yamato, you will see a huge difference because the Ring of Daisy can actually crit. That's why it is one of the best rings, which is really, really cheap, but really, really effective on Lubu. So that's why it's also a good one to have there. So right now, as I've said, this is my current build, which is, I'm going to reveal with you right now. My Zhao Yan is purposely in the primary because I want to have that extra defense for your commander skill. As you can see here, you will deal 240% in damage. Okay, we're not really after that. The one that I'm after is the Cloud Dragon, which will easily trigger your skills for your Valiant Rescue because once this is max, you will deal the damage. Another one is I want to get that 8% of troop defense or damage reduction, because it will eventually, with the might bonus, maybe let's say 10 or more than 10%, it will actually give you a lot of confidence to fight in the battlefield and will not really have that much of losses in the field, especially with a good amount of healing from your pain blood plus the boiling blood from your Lubu, which actually will grant this lineup a little bit of help defensively. The only thing is that your commander skill is not really an AoE, unlike your Lubu. But in the battlefield, make sure you are not going to be swarmed. But it actually depends on how you play your hero. But that's actually the strength of this lineup. Make sure you only have like 1 or 2 enemies in order for you to finish them off quickly and to really use that advantage that you have with your Zhao Yan. And using it this way, you will really be a little bit tankier than what you have. And as you can see here, my main focus still for the damages are my Lubu. As you can see, all my mites are here. Then I have one defense there, then another secondary strike skill here. And on my Zhao Yan, this is what I have. I have health, plus only legendary gems for my might, and then I have one healing gem because I don't really have an extra passive gems anymore. And as you can see there, I have another defense here, but yeah, that's how it looks right now. That's the availability of my gems. Really, it's not really intended to be that way, but yeah, you can actually do that. Now here on my Attila, this is what I have. As you can see, I haven't really finished this off yet. I don't have the right amount of let's say gems for this one. And yeah, another thing is that my rings are built like this. I still have this one. This is really important for this March, especially with the build now with the boiling blood, because this negates a lot of damage early on in the fight, which will make or give your heroes make your heroes a little bit fresh for 18 seconds still to deal more or have more troops to deal more damage. So this is really important. And as I always say, there is really an importance when it comes to your resistance. This is one of the most important adornment that you should always have. At least one of the resistance you should always have on your troops, because for that first 18 seconds, the first 3 instance of the skill damage taken reduced by 8.67%. Now that is over the damage taken reduction by 5.81%. So in total, that first 3 instances of skill damage taken will be or will have a total of, let's say, 14 point something like that. So that is actually a huge one, but only for the first 3 instances. The remaining seconds there, that after the 3 instances were proc, you will only have the 5.81%, which is still not bad at this level. Once you hit the legendary level, as you can see here, you will have more damage reduction, and you will have more of the instances of skill damage reduction here. Plus, the damage reduction after 18 seconds is still going to be huge with 4.15% here. But imagine if this is at a mythical level, but I'm not going to go through there for sure. Not right now though, but in the future maybe. But as I've said, this is really important. So you need at least one of those, and all my marches does have one. I'm not actually omitting any of my marches with the resistance. And then on my Attila, what I have are mostly defense, like entrenchment here for passive skill damage taken reduction, plus the Iron Ridge, which is a, might damage taken reduction. So I'm still vulnerable a lot against a, let's say, Belisarius and Ramesses maybe. But against Ramesses, it depends on the levels. So yeah. So this is the build that I have right now for my Lubu. If you want to try this build out, make sure that you have the same rings. And as I've said, this is actually a budget-friendly ring wherein you have one blue ring, which is only, let's say, easy to get in the store and easy to level up, because you will always get that material when you do the crafting. And also the blue rings, as you all know, is also quite not too difficult to get. That's what I'm going to say. And the only expensive one here is going to be your ring of Tranquil, which is going to be very useful, as I said. You can use another offensive ring, like let's say the Celestial Spark, but it's overkill for me for the damage, and you need a little bit of defense, honestly, in this March. So that's why I'm a little bit tankier versus the other glass cannon Lubus because of this one. And as I've said, I like the Tranquil Ring in all of my other Marches in my other account. I also use this one on my main. So it's really good, especially when it comes to when it's at level 20 and up. You're going to really feel the difference. Now here I'm actually trying to max this out to level 40. That's what I am doing right now, and it really helps, especially at level 40. It will give you like 25% extra damage for your secondary strike skills, which is really good. But the only downside of the Nightwolf ring is actually the armor. That's why really the use of your resistance and also the use of your tranquil ring will eventually help you with the loss of your armor here on your Nightwolf ring. Now, having said that, let me show you just a few of the fights that we have. But these are all from the supply bounty or supply depot. As you can see here, we have tried a lot. Let's start first with the last one, I think. So the damage here is actually just okay. So you can see the boiling blood is with Lubu here. And I think we have the resistance on our Zhaoyan here because I think this is the first time I used the boiling blood. So we use the Shadow Chaser here. It's quite okay with 31 seconds. Please note that one. And then eventually we did the next, which is this one. This one is 17 seconds. Look at that. 17 seconds of the damage though is 219 for your Lubu. And he has that Boiling Blood. So as you can see here, the activations maybe of this one coincides with the activation of your Boiling Blood. That's why the damage really has been there right away, right off the bat. And yeah, I think it's that because there are actually no other damage that gives off that amount of damage though on the other one. So this one again, what do we have here? Okay, so same thing I think. And this one is 22 seconds. Let's see here how much damage we did. So this one is another 21 seconds, which is near that. And I think I was using Boiling Blood on your Zhaoyan here. As you can see, the heals are there, but the damage output is almost the same when it comes to the timing also. Remember the 17 seconds earlier? So you can see there all the damage was on Lubu, but here we also have damages from our Zhaoyan, but the activations is because of the activations, honestly. Look at this one. And then you can see also the activation of your Lubu. This is Lubu using the Shadow Chaser. This is another one, I think, with the same one with the Zhaoyan as the bearer of the Boiling Blood. So this one doesn't really give you that much activations. And it is really, really low when it comes to that. Although the damage here of your Lubu and activations are really good. And let's double check though. We have the Shadow Chaser here on your Lubu and the Boiling Blood here on your Zhaoyan. Now the thing is with your Zhaoyan, it's really a little bit complicated because as I've said, that your Zhaoyan will only use the damage output of the Boiling Blood in his Pay in Blood skill. This one is 32 seconds, so I think the damage is a little bit poor when it comes to that. So the activations are there, but the damage isn't really cutting it, as you can see there. This is actually another Boiling Blood on your Zhaoyan. As you can see, the Boiling Blood really has its RNG, and it's really hard to land once you have it. So that's why I think it's way better on Lubu instead of Zhaoyan. This is another 17 seconds. The damage here are quite good with activations also. So we activated more, as you can see there. So this one, I think Boiling Blood is still with your Zhaoyan, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And it only proves what I said earlier, that it depends on the activation really of the Pay in Blood together with your Boiling Blood. So there it is. And we have also here another 31 seconds. Look at the difference though. There is 17 seconds and there is 31 seconds. So the damage output really depends on how much activation right off the bat we have. So this is really not a good fight there. But let's see another one here. I think I already changed this the placement here. No, I still have it. So you can see there another 29 seconds, which is not good when it comes to the damage output. That's why it really just backs up the idea that the skills or the Boiling Blood is way better on Lubu than Zhaoyan. So here, my Lubu is my main commander. 22 seconds. So the stats are here. So still Boiling Blood on Zhaoyan. So even if your Lubu is your commander, nor he is here on the second, the output is almost the same. This time I tried the Radiant Guardian Ring for my Zhaoyan so that I can activate more the Pay in Blood, but it didn't really pan that well. As you can see, the activations here are not really good, only at 4, unlike earlier that we have like 8 or 6 right off the bat. So we did try again here. I have a lot of fights here. I'm not sure if I'm going to show it to you all. But yeah, another one here. We tried again, but the same output we have. Okay, another one here. This one, I think we have changed. Nope, still the same. Okay, but as you can see, the results of this one having Boiling Blood and that specific ring actually has it's let's say consistent at 20 something seconds. Now this thing here is, I think, another one wherein we lose on the fight, but this one is 33 seconds, as you can see there. Now it's still with Zhaoyan here. And let's see the other one. Did I change the ring? I think I changed the ring. Okay, I changed the ring here to the um, a ring of falcon here, as you can see. But the damage or the healing isn't really that much. Plus, the damage is really weak. That's why I don't really recommend that for you guys to get a healing ring for Zhao to improve his healing. It's really, really bad. As you can see here, another one. It's really okay now this time around because it was carried by Lubu. As you can see here, the activation and the damage from Lubu. But look at the activations. Oh, it was also because of the activations of your Zhao, because of the activation of your Zhao. But the healing really is really, really bad. And I think it's way better off that we don't have any healing ring for your Zhao. And okay, another one here. Okay, another boiling blood on your Zhao. But the rings now are back to normal, so we got 27 seconds there. And then here again, we get 19 seconds, which is really good. The boiling blood is still with your Zhao here. Activations are quite okay also. But remember, we did like 17 seconds or 16 seconds earlier with Zhao as the commander, right? You can see here another 16 seconds here with boiling blood on your Lubu. Now, with the boiling blood on your Lubu, it will really do a difference. So I think it only activated like once or twice here, sorry. So that's why the healing is so low. And then look at the activations. The damage though, it's different. We have like 5 or 7 activations earlier, but we didn't get 99% or 99k damage here. If you are going to remember it, it was like around 45k, 47k, something like that. So it means that once we got this one, it activated the extra damage from your skill here. Plus, it activated maybe in a critical state. And also, the Adornment was activated here, your Boiling Blood. That's why the damage is really good. So it's really based on RNG 100%. But another one here, let's see. Another 16 seconds. We have the same rings that we have. All right. So activations also really, really important. So you can see here, only 6 activations also. We got 99k earlier, and now we have 119k for this one, which means that it really helps with your boiling blood. So that's how it is. Earlier, you cannot see that much damage using just the Shadow Chaser, right? Like we only got like 45k, 47k, something like that for your weak spot. But as you can see here, the activations are not there. You can see the regular damage at 55k here for 5 activations. So it didn't really activate well enough with that one. So yeah, that's why it's really, really low. I guess that's it. So as you can see, I have tried a lot of fights with it. So this one also is another one. And the activations are there, but as you can see, the damage is not there. So it's really going to be based on your RNG. For the Lubu as the commander, this one is 13 seconds. Look at that. This is like the shortest time that we've gotten. So as you can see here, I didn't even activated my commander skill right away, but we still have that much damage. Only 3 activations, but we are already at 60,000 damage. Also in this one, another low activations, but we already have 77k damage. That is actually the power of the skill. Also, another one here is the activation of your Pain Blood, which is really, really cool to see at 10 activations for only 13 seconds, which is like, let's say, 1 or 2, let's say 1 per second. That's actually the safest one because this is 13 seconds. So that is really, really a huge one there. So let's see here. Actually, that's the shortest time that I got, the 13 seconds for everything. So here, another one. As you can see, the damage here is not that much same as before, or like the 13 seconds one that we have. But it's a little bit more consistent here. We have more tankiness, number 1. Plus, we have also consistent damage. As you can see there. That is actually a good one. So sometimes, when your Lubu and Zhao activated a good amount of damage at the same time, it really blows up the enemy. Look at this, another one, 16 seconds, right? With the Boiling Blood on Lubu. And, of course, wind resistance on your Zhao. You can see the 66k for just 4 activations, 73k for just 5 activations right there. It's really cool. And also, if you have noticed, the changes also, huge changes on the activations and damage of your ring skill here. It sometimes is at 45k at only 5 activations. It's also because of that. So Boiling Blood really helps this one. As I've said, it also crits. So it really helps with that one. Okay, this one is 23 seconds. Okay, the activations though. As you can see here, it's very low, 36k. So you can see for 6 activations already. So that proves my point already there. So yeah, we have a lot of this one. Let's just finish it up maybe here at the end. Let's see what we have. I kind of forgot really. So we have 90 seconds. As you can see, the amount of timing here on this particular march is let's say consistent in like that matter of also 19 seconds and up. But this is the march that we did the less amount of time that we killed off the first march of the depot. So it actually just based on activation chances there plus the boiling blood, which is really really cool. Let me show you just some of the PvP fights that I have with this one. So here we were attacked, right? And we won. But as you can see, we have also another disadvantages. Look at the Lubu, 157k on the troops. We only have like 140k here. And as you can see, we deal 28k of healing also here. But let's see. So you can see, compared to Zhao and having Timur here, we deal that much healing. So let's compare. All right. So let's see the healings. As you can see, the healing of your Zhao is around 8,000. And with that, the healing of your Lubu is around 4,000. Compare it with your enemy. Oh, that also has Boiling Blood, I think, because of the healing of 3.4k. Plus the healing of your Zhao here and the healing of Timur. So let's say that you already have the healing of your Timur here almost at the same level. Look at that, 4.3k, and then we have better, I think, healing because of the healing that we healing gem that we have for your Zhao, but I only have one though. But yeah, let's see the comparison though. This the level is 150 on his side, but we did a fair decent damage there because of the Nightwolf ring here. So yeah, I think we do have the same adornments. Okay, Boiling Blood is way better than mine. It's at 150 when it comes to the recovery, plus 12%. So yeah, the only thing is I think the Gallant here should be a little bit better. This one is also this good. Valor and Renewal, nice one. This is a good one. You have Renewal plus Valor. Okay, resistance is a little bit low. This one also level 37 on the adornments levels. But sorry, this one is another resistance. Okay, so yeah, I think I have much more damage because of what I have on my Attila. And but the rings are, look at this, the rings are almost the same. The only difference is actually the ring for your Timur. But I have a little bit more glass cannon build. But yeah, it's way better. Look at that. Look at the difference though. But yeah, it only proves that the damage though of your Boiling Blood is really really good. I think those are some of the good ones here. As you can see here, another 30k healing. Compared to the Lubu here, which is 160k of troops already. I still have a long road to go, I guess. But look at the damage that we have with our troops. We have 336k more damage that our Zhao dealt versus the one that his Lubu dealt. I think maybe it's because of this one. I'm not sure, but you have 5 seconds here of invulnerability, so it will not show there, but I guess it's because of that. But still, we have like 50k more damage on our side of Lubu here. Let's see what's his Lubu had. Oh, it's also a Timur, but at 3 stars. So 95k versus 139k, still a little bit hard to pull off a win against that one, though. The stats here, look at this. He has also Boiling Blood, safe to say. And it's really, really good. It's really the norm here right now. And the buffs, look at this one. 751 for the Might. And yeah, I'm just happy that we deal that much damage in comparison. And yeah, I guess that's about it for today, guys. And hopefully you did learn something from this one and really get to know the Boiling Blood skill and how important it is for the Lubu March. And I think it's also going to be useful when we have William Marshall introduced in the game. I'm just not sure how it will go because sometimes the recommendation of the game for the lineups are really terrible. The question are for you, squad. What do you think about this one? Do you think it's a good way to educate some of the players that are struggling to get help from other players in the game? Do you have other recommendations or suggestions for this topic? Whatever your thoughts are, if you have any of those suggestions, please leave them all down in the comments so that our squad members are going to know more about this one and maybe possibly consider your suggestions with their accounts. And as always, squad, have a great day to everyone. This is your TITOBODS, and I will see you in the next one. And hey, click on this video right here for more awesome TITOBODS content. Thanks for watching, you guys, and TITOBODS out.